Damn okay, presented by Under Armour.
Damn. I'm okay. Damn. I'm okay. Yeah, no, I mean, yes, I'm okay. The legal gambleizing. Oh, baby. I am Chris Simms. I'm okay. Damn.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, and this is the hashtag National Tight End Day edition. Pete, I told you, I think we've jumped the shark on National Tight End Day. No, I knew it was coming.
Best tight end I've seen.
What?
Best tight end I've seen. Kylie Jenner started off. We're talking about tight ends, the position. Sorry,
right?
Oh,
Pete,
my
this is what we're gonna do.
I thought we were talking about tight ends.
Just to make sure that we haven't, hung on to something that now is out of style. We're gonna go next level on it. So you have to bleep out and take out the whole
me.
thing.
You didn't think I could be proper with this conversation the whole time?
What about Zach Ertz? Good rear quarters, right?
Yeah, pretty
strong
good.
Thighs,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe not strong enough to beat out Dallas Goedert, but still. Okay.
Yeah, right. Well, they're a little older in the glutes and the end part than
you
Dallas
lose a little
Goedert.
bit. You lose some toning. Yeah.
Right.
So Zach Ertz, we start with the Cardinals defeating the Texans 31-5. I saw a video after the game. Cliff Kingsbury gave him a game ball. So he got a game ball in his first game with the Cardinals. 3 catches, 66 yards, a touchdown in his Cardinals debut. What do you think about him as a weapon now with Kyler, giving him just another weapon to use?
I think it's a little bit like it's another weapon to use like you're talking about, and it's another angle of the offense that you'll have to think about. Okay, there goes Christian Kirk on a post, and DeAndre Hopkins is coming behind him on a 20-yard in cut, and we got A.J. Green on the other side running a 20-yard comeback, and you want to play deep coverages. All right, it's like what Kansas City can maybe do with Kelsey at times, where you see, all right, you want to play deep, but now we got Ertz one-on-one underneath against a linebacker, or he understands how to read the zone coverage and where to sit, and now, man, that's pretty good. Our check down guy is Ertz for 8 yards, Ertz for 10 yards, or Ertz for a 47-yard touchdown down the middle.
But I kind of thought it was over for Ertz, right? I was like, that was the idea in Philly. It was like, oh, his time is come and gone.
Yeah, well, he's not going to be like, I don't think we're going to see a lot of plays like we saw yesterday. You could see he's not quite as fast as he used to be.
Yeah.
It's like he's going to be dependable, read the coverage, first down guy. That's what he's going to be. It's 3rd and 6, 7-yard pass to Ertz, first down. He's going to be like you saw Jason Witten towards the end of his career, if that makes sense. That to me is where I see it going. You just go, wait, he's smart. He knows what to do. He's going to understand the rules of our offense. He's going to understand if the safety plays the leverage this way, we want him to run this route. If the linebacker plays the leverage this way, we want him to run that route, right? So that's where he's golden. That's where, offensive guys love a guy like Zach Ertz because they make the coach right more than wrong.
Something else to kind of have to keep your eye on if you're trying to defend against Kyler Murray and the Cardinals. You also got to keep your eye on Chase Edmonds, I guess, and James Conner. They combined for over 140 yards. And get this, too, Chris. This was the first game in Kyler's career with 3 touchdowns off play-action passes. So that running attack helped Kyler in the passing game.
If anybody's been listening to my podcast or anything here over the last 7 weeks, Arizona's a little different this year. They stay patient with the run game. They can move people. There is more 2 tight end sets and running sets and play action pass. And hey, this is where stats can lie. The Texans defense is good. They're a good defense.
It's just nothing early.
Well, it's just how long can they hold on?
Yeah.
It's just like last week they played the Colts. It was 10-3 in the third quarter. It's just when you're out there, it's like we've talked about this before. When you're out there every 4 plays, you're going to break down eventually. And, that's basically what we saw there yesterday. We saw the Texans defense keep them in the football game, but they absolutely have no freaking offense at all. And, of course, against that defense with Cardinals, they got talent and all the things they do. I mean, Marcus Golden looks like he's found his, he looks like the guy that left Arizona to go to the Giants a few years ago. And I want to go, what the hell? Why didn't you look like this with my Giants? Like, what the hell? But, yeah, I just they continue to impress me because they show the ability to win games different ways. Like, yesterday wasn't, beautiful. They kind of just hung in there. And, okay, we got a safety. But they didn't crumble. They didn't make any other mistakes after that. They got the game back in control. And Kyler's just got a good feel right now of, let me take a whole shot down the right sideline to A.J. Green. This is a tight one, but I'm going to throw the laser in there. Or just knowing when to like kind of play it safe. And they're doing a lot of good things on both sides of the football, Arizona, and that's why, of course, they're 7-0.
Yeah, held Houston to 2 for 13 on third downs. This is coming off a good game against Cleveland where they were able to keep them in check for most of the game. So it's like, yeah, I mean, Arizona legit 7-0 team. I don't think anyone was doubting that anyway, but it's just like they win multiple ways.
Yes, that's the thing.
And Kyler, in the MVP discussion for sure, he is the fourth quarterback since the merger to start and win each of his team's first 7 games and have a completion percentage over 70%.
Wow.
The other 3
7-0, you're saying,
7-0,
and 70%.
And 70%.
Well, I know 2 for sure.
The previous 3 all won the MVP that season.
All right, so Brady and Manning. The years they went, like the Denver year, right, with Manning we're talking about, and then Brady 2007, right? And then, wait, hold on. And 7-0.
7-0.
Did
70%.
Mahomes go?
Mahomes, no.
All right, who is it?
Your boy Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, shit.
So they all did it, and they all ended up winning the MVP.
So that was Rodgers in 2011 where he won the MVP, but they didn't win the Super Bowl. They got upset by the Giants.
Pete confirms that.
Okay.
So, Kyle, if you want to make Kyler your front runner for MVP, I'm not going to argue against that.
No, I don't. I think it's hard to argue against it. It is. And listen, the only thing that's going to be a bad thing for Kyler is there's 3 or other 4 freaks out there right now who are like we talked about, Derrick Henry and Brady, the way they're playing, and Stafford. But yeah, I think. Like, if you had to choose one right now, like, who would you choose? Who's the
MVP?
Yeah, who's the MVP of football? I know we're not at the halfway point, but, like, just, gut feeling, you seemed like you leaned hard Henry a little bit.
I did. I would put Henry close.
Yeah.
I mean, depending on what happens here on out,
I get
obviously.
it.
But I think, undefeated season, quarterback Kyler Murray.
Well, that would be
makes
amazing.
That offense go. Like, who are the Cardinals without Kyler Murray?
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, right.
So
I hear you there. You're right.
I think Kyler is the leader right now for me.
Yeah,
I think he's the MVP.
He's in a leader house, is what
do
you're
you
telling
think?
me.
Would you agree?
I think I would, too. I think I probably would as well. Yeah.
Stafford's been great. Rams would still be pretty good without
all
him.
the guys we've mentioned have been great. There's no doubt. You're right. To me, I think it would be that. I think the top 3, though.
PointsBet says Kyler is number 1 right now.
Murray, Brady, and Henry.
They say Dak is number 2.
Oh, I know Dak. We can't
Cowboy
forget about
boost.
Dak.
He'd get the emotional, come back after that injury last year.
Yep.
They got Allen and Brady tied for 3rd.
Okay.
Then Stafford, then Rodgers, then Lamar, Herbert, and then Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry should not be that far down.
No,
although that's just a function of a quarterback always wins it, I guess.
It is. It's a little stupid at times. There's no doubt.
So did you go with Kyler?
I would go Kyler too.
Yeah,
I
right
would.
Now.
I would give Kyler the lead.
Right now, MVP is Kyler Murray.
Yes,
congratulations! We should get an award for that.
Yeah.
Give him a trophy. Have him accept it.
Send him an energy drink. He'll like that.
I'll send him one. Hopefully, he doesn't choke on it like I did earlier. All right. So Cardinals win again. They're undefeated. They are rolling. The Packers win again. Although, much like the Cardinals, where that score didn't indicate how much they struggled, perhaps early in the game.
Yeah.
Packers struggled in this game against Washington. Washington moved the ball. Something you pointed out before we started taping is that even though the Packers won 24-10, Washington outgained them 430 yards to 304. And you said, you're like, how much did Washington punt in this game? And then Pete was going through 0.
Yeah.
Washington did not punt in a game where they scored 10 points and lost by 14.
Yeah. This game was really a toe-to-toe battle. It's just, again, I think it goes back to the old conversation we're having with Green Bay right now. Green Bay they don't make mistakes, so they're going to make you earn it on both sides of the football. They're very sound, and they kind of have the right feel of like, oh, wait, okay, we got to step on the pedal a little bit this drive and, force the issue offensively. Okay, we'll do that here. But they don't ever go crazy. Rodgers playing very within himself. He's not taking any chances. But, hey, that was definitely, one of the things that came away from the game going 24-10. And that's why I brought it up. I was just like, that score is misleading. I mean, it was misleading when you talk about the 4th down stops they had when they were in field goal range, on the 1-yard line, Taylor Heineke diving before he got in the end zone, not knowing that rule. That was a big moment of the football game because then the next play didn't make it on the goal line sneak. Washington played well enough to steal that game there.
Yeah.
And it was the best game Washington's defensive line played all year. That was the thing that I came away with.
3 first-half sacks, 2 by Jonathan Allen. Nearly had a safety later in the game.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they did
They were
play,
over Rodgers a little bit.
They did play tough against that offense, but Davante Adams eventually going to get free, and that offense is going to get rolling. Davante Adams passed Sterling Shepard for second most receptions in Packers history behind...
Wait, who'd you say? Sterling Sharp. Yeah.
What did I say?
Sterling Shepard, who plays in the Giants. I was like, damn, when did he play for the Packers? But Sterling Sharp.
And have the second most receptions of all time.
So he passed Sterling Sharp.
He passed Sterling Sharp for second most receptions in Packers history. First still, though, more than 150 ahead of Adams. Still got some time to go. He might not get it because this might be his last year there. The last dance with Rodgers. Number one in Packers history is...
This guy played with Rodgers?
A little bit, mostly with Favre.
Yeah, so this is Donald Driver?
Donald Driver.
Yeah, right.
743 receptions there. So Davante Adams, like you mentioned before, it's like the Packers... They know where their bread is buttered.
They
with
do.
Davante Adams, and they'll go with it over and over. Now, the damn okay in this game, tight ends edition. Robert Tonyan finally got his touchdown, 4 catches, 63 yards, both season highs. Got a touchdown in this game, and was more of like that red zone, end zone target for Rodgers last year. Has had a little bit trouble getting going this year.
Right.
But perhaps this is a sign of things to come. I got this note from Lockdown CB. On the defensive side, he wants a damn okay for Eric Stokes.
Yeah,
Balled
Stokes
out
is a player.
all day. Looks to be a first-round talent.
Yep.
Might be a bit of a self-scout thyself, too, he says.
Yeah,
so adds that in there. A little dig to you.
Thank you. Yeah, you shutdown corner, okay? I mean that. Thank you. You're right about that. I had him like just out of my top 5 corners. He's been really good. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
He has. He's big. He competes. And of course he can run. There's no doubt about that. Him and the kid that came out of Georgia that went to Jacksonville, Tyson Campbell. They're 4-3 guys. So yeah, they needed him to play well. Of course, Jair Alexander hurt, and it was kind of an issue with their football team the last few years. Was that other corner opposite Jair? I think they found something there. So there's no doubt we're seeing Rashawn Gary pop a little bit here as of late. Yep. He's making some plays.
10 quarterback pressures, most in the NFL this week for Rashawn Gary.
Yeah, I mean. Green Bay is like weird to me. I know they're 6-1. I get it. Efficiency and not messing up the game. I don't know if that wins Super Bowls. I don't know it. Again, like, okay, efficiency and not messing up the game, but what about when you're playing a team as good as you that also doesn't mess up the game? Like, that to me is, I don't know if Green Bay's going to win those games, and that's where I'm just not sure. Green Bay, again, really good. I know they're going to be in the final 8, most likely. Yeah, I'm not like afraid to say that. I just don't know. I don't know. I don't know if they're truly talented enough to beat teams like the Rams, the Bucks, Arizona, or even Dallas this year. I'm not sure. And then that's like, that to me is where I would go. I wish Green Bay would make a play for something on the offensive side. They're not going to be able to go to Davante Adams in the playoffs. Those defenses are not going to be like, oh, we're going to let Davante Adams go for 800 catches in this game.
Maybe the weather gets colder. You lean more on Jones and Dillon.
That's Rodgers time. You know that too. When it gets cold up there, that's when they're tough. But I don't know. It's just something that comes to my mind. They are, to me, I would love to see them make some sort of move like that. I don't know. I don't know. I've said Odell Beckham Jr. and those type of things, but I think they need one more weapon to push them over the edge if they want to win the Super Bowl, compared to these other teams in the NFC that we've talked about who have like unreal star talent on both sides of the ball to a degree. Sorry, I didn't mean to get us off topic there, but just something I thought worth it.
Can they beat a team as good over in the AFC as the Las Vegas Raiders? That's perhaps a question, too. They beat the Eagles 33-22.
Yeah.
I saw this coming into the game. Raiders entered the game as the only... The renters. They're renting,
I'm rubbing off on you.
I've always been this way. Maybe I'm rubbing off on you. Raiders entered the game as the only team with 4 300-yard receivers. Ruggs, Renfro, Waller, Edwards. Their leading receiver in this game...
Say that 3 times fast.
I know. Their leading receiver in this game... Foster Moreau.
Don't forget about him.
6 catches, 60 yards, both career highs, and a touchdown. As Derek Carr goes 31 of 34.
Insane.
91% completion percentage, career best for him, best for any quarterback this season. 2 touchdowns, did have an interception. But yeah, like that's an indication right there, though. I mean, this offense And then you got the running back too. If they're healthy, they can do that.
Drake and Jacobs, yeah.
Like they're the anti-Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. I mean, you look at some of these other teams in football that are towards the top of the standings. You just go, man, they got a lot of firepower. Like, where does it even start on like who to defend? And like I think you just said, like no Waller out there and still do this thing. Like, I mean, he'd be my pick for the best tight end in football right now. So not to have him and do that. But, man, Derek Carr, what can you say about him? There was a bad interception, right, on one of the first drives of the game. But from that point on, it was like, I don't know. It just seemed like I always go back to the word surgical. It just every time I looked up, it was 8 yards. It was 10 yards. It was 6 yards. It was 5 yards. They couldn't stop him. They really couldn't. And, the Raiders their O-line the last few weeks has really played better. They're protecting well. And the Eagles, who really put a lot of pressure on their front four and like to play these kind of two deep coverages and zone coverages that way, that's where I'm mad about my pick of the game. It didn't match up. The Raiders have a million different ways to kind of pick apart those type of defenses, and between that, right? So they go up 14-7. Then let me just see if I can get this right. Gainwell fumbles, right? And it becomes 17-7 right before the half. So now it's 17-7. And then to me, one of the tragic errors of the day yesterday, because we saw it work, but it's 17-7, and the Eagles started off the second half by kicking an onside kick, and the Raiders recovered it, and they went down and scored, and that was night-night. Because, as you see, the Eagles and their passing game is less than.
There was a stretch there where the Raiders scored 17 unanswered points, and the Eagles had run one offensive snap. Because they had a turnover there, they had the onside kick, and so it was just like that.
Everything turned. That's where you got to be careful about picking your spots of
Ask Dan Campbell when to do it. Ask him when to do it.
Well, we saw a lot of trick plays in football yesterday.
We did.
That was a thing, where it was pretty unbelievable. And I get it. Listen, you should always got to have a few in the bag, but I don't know. 17-7, you're down 10.
Yeah. I always say don't do it if it's not going to work. If it's going to work, go ahead and do it. If it's not going to work,
you are smart.
Don't do it.
Wise man Ahmed Fareed.
Daniel Montez, 5'10". At the beginning of the season, you said the Raiders' defense lacked a superstar, but Max Crosby is definitely filling that role as of late. Has your opinion on the defense and how far this team can go changed?
Yeah, it has. It has, definitely. I think just, Gus Bradley, what he's done. Yeah, Crosby's become, I can't lie, more of a force than I ever envisioned him, even as good as he was last year. And but man,
he's improved. I mean, like you look at his body, he's gotten stronger. It seems
it's a different look.
He's a different player. So like the guy you evaluated out of college, or maybe even that first year, it's a different player.
It was still impressive, but yeah, this has gotten to the point to like what you're saying, where you're just like, no, he's going to be around the quarterback a handful of times today. I don't give a shit who your tackle is.
Yeah.
And then Yannick Ngakoue popped up a bunch of times as well. It looks like, hey, this is where Gus Bradley, I think, is really improved.
Tripod 2X. Is Gus Bradley still running that basic Seattle defense, or is he mixing in new concepts?
Well, he got a few little new concepts here, but it's still the Seattle-based stuff. It is. But he's the master of it. He's the inventor of it. He's the best at it. And for them, it, I think, is a good thing because they got a bunch of young guys who got some talent in the secondary who I think in their first few years, like, too many defenses is like too many ups. And now they're like, wait, Gus taught us. Here's the rules. It's simple. We know what we're doing. And they're playing really well. And I just, Gus is a great coach. He really is. He's a great motivator, and he understands how to attack teams. And he's just got just the right sprinkle of different stuff to go along with the Seattle scheme.
Rich Bisaccia, a great coach as well, 2-0 as interim head coach.
Way to go, Rich.
And, I kind of want to mention this, too.
Yeah.
Josh Jacobs had this quote after the game. He said, man, the sidelines was just so, it was like, it wasn't no anxiety. It was weird. It was like everyone was calm. You didn't have someone cussing at you or going crazy at the refs. None of that. Something bad happened, and it was like, okay, next play. I mean, that seems to be a commentary on the guy who is no longer there. What do you make of that?
It is some major shade. Pete Demoletitis just said that's some major shade. That's some shade. That is. Well, listen, not everyone likes to be coached that way. And I think it is jarring. It was jarring for people in my years at Tampa Bay where they were like, dude, this guy is out of control. Like, and yeah, you always felt like there was games where we're up by 10 and in control of the game, and you felt like we were down by 10 by the way he was acting on the sidelines. So I think he's trying to tell you, like, somebody else made a comment this week too that was similar to that, where it was just something about the week of practice, how it was calm too, and there was no anxiety. So yeah, not everybody likes to be coached that way. But Bisaccia is, again, this is where I think the world of football has to look at these guys more as far as head coaches. I've stood on the table for him the last 2 years in the coaching cycle a little bit because I know he can be a John Harbaugh type guy. I've been around him. He was there in Tampa when I was there. He has a great way of communicating, a great way of he can be hard on you, but he still loves you, right? Can kind of say some things and be like, getting your ass a little bit, and that's f***ed up, and what did you do?
Whereas everyone thinks Gruden probably hates them deep down.
Well, it can maybe cross the line of being a little mean at times. Sure. So Bisaccia can do it with the right way of like, no, this is just, I'm a man coach, and I'm talking to you, and I'm your general, and I still love you, but that was stupid. Like, he's got a great way about him, and he understands managing a game. And to me, it's a little bit of a lost art in football right now. Everyone's looking for the young offensive coordinator. I know that. But I think guys like Dan Campbell and Rich Bisaccia and them, I think, have more value than the NFL world's giving them credit for.
2-0. Good start for him so far. 33-22, the final score. Raiders get the win. You said Darren Waller is the best tight end in football in your mind. I wonder if you'll be saying that by the end of the year because Kyle Pitts looks pretty good, too.
Oh, my gosh.
Falcons beat the Dolphins 30-28. 7 catches for Pitts. Season high 163 yards. Second straight 100-yard game. Had one that was one-handed. He is the youngest tight end in NFL history with 150-plus receiving yards in a game. He's just 21 years old and 21 years and 18 days old. He just turned 21.
Yeah, well, I saw something else, too. Like, he's got the most receiving yards by a rookie tight end since Mark Bavaro in 1985, which, of course, is that it? That was it.
So what do you think? I mean, by the end of this year, could you be saying Kyle Pitts is the best receiving tight end in football?
Yeah, definitely. I don't think that's, like, crazy. I mean, he's a freak show. He's the freakiest of all the tight ends in football.
Like, how do you guard him? Brian Flores, the Dolphins, did not know how to guard him.
Well, no, you could see. They were like, wait, we're going to put our Xavier Howard on him man-to-man. Didn't matter. That's where he's got a little bit of, like, the Gronk effect, right, where he's more athletic than Gronk, so he can run like a slower-ish big receiver, but it's one of those, to me, and this is where I know, like, Gronk used to surprise people, and then they would get on the field if they hadn't played the Patriots or stuff. They would just go, we just didn't realize how big he was. We just didn't realize that we thought we had a big guy covering him, and we covered him, but it just didn't matter. He shielded us. He held it off as his body. He throws up his arms that are 7 feet long and catches it. Like, that's what Kyle Pitts is. So it's like, even when you see good coverage, it just doesn't really matter. And they have found a little niche for him within the offense, too, and how to, like, stress you out with how they line up in formations. And, Matt Ryan and company, they got a little combination going there with the group. Atlanta's got it going. They really do.
Yeah, they're 3-3. Yeah. They're in wild card contention. I mean, like, how long can they stay there? You don't know. I mean, I don't know what their other wins are against. I mean, they got the win against the Dolphins here with Strugglesville.
Yeah, they beat the Jets and they beat the Jets and the Giants. So it's not impressive, right? It's not impressive, but they're not going to be a pushover. And I think their offense has kind of found what works for them. And Matt Ryan's playing pretty good football. And when they have a good, healthy Calvin Ridley to go along with Pitts, like you're talking about, and Cordero Patterson. They pose some problems for whoever that defense is. This game was fun to watch. It was a lot of back and forth.
It was
a lot of back and forth. Tua played pretty good. He had the 2 bad interceptions.
Let's get into that. Yeah. Let's get into that because that's another big talking point in this one. I think this was the game where after that second really bad interception, there were people in Miami who have defended Tua that were like, I don't know, I can't do it anymore. He's not the answer. I think a prominent beat writer kind of tweeted like, well, Tua's not the answer. And I deep down felt, I was like, this is where it's going to happen for Chris. Chris has been beating the drum on like, okay, pump the brakes. Tua's not quite as good as we're all making him out to be. I was like, this might be the game where Chris now turns out to be higher on Tua than most other people. Like, this is where it flips for you. So tell me, What did you think of Tua in that game?
People are piling on now, and it's like I want to be like, you're too late to the party. Like, you're not allowed to pile on. If you didn't really notice it now, then shut up and just back off. Or like,
I'm the only one that can crap.
Well, you can't defend him like there's no end, and then just change your mind in 10 days. Like that's to me where it's gotten crazy. And then I think people are realizing it because they're hearing it from when. Other teams when they play him. And, I think the last 2 weeks is, even though it's been good play, I think the other thing that just jumps out to you is, man, his arm is just average. And they have to manage so many ways to throw the ball in the middle of the field to kind of make it all work. And it's just hard to win games like that, to just always put together a drive that way.
But he wasn't bad.
He was not bad. He can execute the offense.
After that that second bad interception, he went 6 for 6, 9-play, 90-yard touchdown.
That was a huge drive. Yeah, huge drive.
Came right back.
No doubt about it. I mean, he knows how to play. He can play the game. Mm-hmm. It's just, can he make plays to change the game? And that's what he's expected to do when you're a top 5 pick. And unfortunately, the guys that were drafted by him, Herbert and Burrow, they do that every game. And Tua, okay, fine. You can be good guy, execute, boom, 9 plays, 90-yard drives. That's great because you're not going to get a lot of 3-play 90-yard drives or anything like that out of them. But when you're that guy, Ahmed, I think what compounds it is you can't be dumb interception guy too. And that's what we kind of see every game from him to a degree too, where you just go, "What?
Yeah,
what?
It's like a ceiling and floor, right?
If you're playing so good, how did you do that one right there?
If your ceiling's not going to be a guy that can put the game on his shoulders and win it, you can't also be the guy that
makes the crucial mistakes.
I get that.
And I'm not trying. Again, it's a lot of good there. There is a lot of good.
Yes.
But I think, again, it just goes back to what I've always been saying. There's a certain support system that's needed, I think, to make Tua work. Where again. Burrow and Herbert, you can put in any offense, and I'd go, it'll work. Trust me, it'll work. No doubt about that. We'll see. And, of course, the Deshaun Watson stuff is very real, as we've been saying all along. Yeah. So I think that has a real possibility of happening maybe this week. There's no doubt about it. And, yeah, from what I've heard, that's where Deshaun Watson wants to go, and I've heard that from pretty good sources.
Such a head-scratcher, that whole story of, okay, he's just going to pop back in. He's going to be allowed to play. It's like, no he's not going to be allowed to play. No. And then the NFL is going to shut it down. But they're like, okay, that's a guy you give up 3 first-round or 2 first-rounders for. It's like, what? None of it makes sense to me, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't – that doesn't for me, if you were – I think nothing's going to happen, but it seems like there's a ton of chatter out there where he could go.
Yeah, so I think it's – I think Carolina and Miami, just from the people I know in football, are they want to make it happen.
They're just so desperate that it's like, we don't even care if this doesn't work out for this year.
I think Miami is going, this year's done already. Yeah. So let's just start building for the future more. They think they've realized, so what if we got in the playoffs? We're not a real Super Bowl team. We're not real. Right. So I think they're thinking about the future right now.
So that was love to the tight ends. Also give love to Mike Gesicki, 7 catches, 85 yards, and a touchdown in that one. So he was very good as well.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.